So now I'm honored to introduce Keith Hinkley, Parish President. Keith Hinkley is a dedicated public servant with a proven track record of leadership and community engagement. As the Parish President, Keith has been working diligently since elected to improve the infrastructure, coastal protection, beautification, and overall communications within Plaquemines Parish government. With over 8 years of experience in local government, Keith has a deep understanding of the needs and challenges faced by the community. He has extensive experience in leadership, business, logistics, and community development. Keith's commitment to public service is evident in his focus on improving infrastructure, enhancing economic opportunities, and fostering community engagement. Under his short time as president, there has been substantial improvement seen throughout the parish. Keith is passionate about promoting community engagement and inclusivity. He has implemented initiatives to promote citizen participation, including town hall meetings and community forums. Beyond his work in local government, Keith is actively involved in various community organizations and volunteer efforts. Keith's vision for the parish is one of sustainable growth, inclusivity, and prosperity for all residents. He is dedicated to making Plaquemines Parish an exceptional place to live, work, and raise a family. With his leadership and commitment to service, Keith is well equipped to continue making a positive impact as parish president. And I think that was an extremely well-written introduction. You did great. Please welcome President Keith Hinkley. I'm going to mess with Shanta's timing here because I'm going to go off the page for a second. I'd like to introduce a couple of formers. It's two guys that I sat with on the council starting 8 to 16 to 14 years ago. One is Anthony Buris and the other is Jeff Edgecombe. Those guys have really helped me to get to where I am and where we are as a community today. I would also like to thank and introduce former parish president from St. Bernard, Guy McGinnis. He has been, I'm fortunate I was able to spend a year with him while he was in office, and the insight and the education that I received from him was immense. And as I know, during any kind of storm events, I was on the phone with him in the middle of the night. Hell, one time he was in D.C., I said, God, you got to tell me what to do here. I need help. There's tornadoes are coming. It's like he had already experienced that. He said, just sit tight. Relax here. So I thank you guys for being here, and Jeff and Anthony. Thank you for continuing to be with me and for all the efforts that we did in the past. And you can see that's evident out there by the cow pasture. We can't say enough about the cow pasture. We can even thank the cow pasture for the miserable traffic that we're having to experience. But that's progress. That's progress. I'm going to go off kilter again right here. Dale just mentioned the two bills that went through. Yes, Jacob's pushed his out of committee, and it's to the appropriations. That's a victory right there, because at least, like you said, the secretary spoke out against it, but Jacob still had the support to move it out and to move it to the appropriations. Says a lot for Jacob right there. The TIF, that is a work in progress. There's a lot of work that needs to be done with that. There's boundaries, and there's districts to create in the parish. Councilman Champagne and I were together this morning. I'm looking at it last night, throughout the night he was. We're coming up with a plan for that, and we're going to work with Senator Connick. We have to work with Senator Connick. We want to work with Senator Connick because we have representation now with our legislatures up in Baton Rouge, and we want to support them as much as they're supporting us. And it's important, it's valuable, and I know it can be frustrating, it can be kind of scary as business owners and business leaders in the community and throughout the parish. But you got to have faith. You know, we were elected. A lot of you in here did elect us. And you elected us for a reason, to be able to work through this. And I think I've demonstrated throughout the last year at how well and how I am willing to work with the business group here, as our council is willing to work with the business group. So with that being said, you know, pretty much the introduction said a lot there. We have, in this past year, we've had a lot of community engagement. We've had 12 town halls, and we have attended many to several community meetings. And we value the input from the community in the efforts that we go forward. We're also, this year, we've taken on the Yayas. This is a group of individuals. It's something I'm very passionate about. It's the arts in the recreation department. It's the young people that don't play sports, but they're into music, into dance, into they're writers, they're authors. There's a whole world out there that's beyond athletics. So I'm very proud and passionate about this organization. They have currently, there's 189 young people that's involved with that group. We found a home for them. It's the old lockup right here in Belle Chase, and they are very excited about that facility, and I'm excited about it. And I want the community and the parish to embrace those young people as much. I'm going to be talking about a new hire that we're going to bring into the parish here with our arts, parks, and recreation. We have a director that's coming in. I'm very excited about her. She comes from a very high level community in this area. She also lives in Plaquemines Parish, which it means a lot. So she has an invested interest here. On the legislative side, we have spent time up in D.C. this past year. I don't know how many times we flew in. We had quick fly-ins with the coastal parish presidents and the coastal zone individuals talking about shore, air, oil and gas, and revenues that can be increased for our parish. One day there's going to be windmills off the coast of Louisiana. We want to make sure that we can capture some kind of income from that, just like we had to work back in the past to capture oil and gas revenues for the parish. So we want to be ahead of the game when it comes to wind. Some of the fly-ins and the visits, in running for office, I said we were going to reach out and work with the neighboring parishes. We cannot do it alone anymore in Plaquemines Parish. We need to be partners with Jefferson Parish, Orleans Parish, St. Bernard Parish. We need that. With those parishes, we're stronger. We're only 22 to 25,000 strong in Plaquemines Parish, but then when we sit at the table with Jefferson Parish and we can talk about the same kind of economic development that's happening in Plaquemines Parish, it doesn't just benefit Plaquemines, it benefits Jefferson Parish, Orleans Parish. So it's important that they're with us so that we are talking the same tune. Sitting with President Shane, I think she was kind of surprised at the talk that I would give. It's like when we're talking about rail relocation out of Plaquemines Parish, the economic impact that this rail would have by moving it from here to Peters Bypass Road. What it does in the Jefferson Parish area on the east side of the rail, that land that is vacant there and it's been vacant forever it immediately goes up in value. When that rail is off of Peters Road, back in the 80s, Peters Road was a dust storm of business going on. Hopefully, when that rail is relocated, we can find some business that can come back into that area right there. So she got an appreciation of what Plaquemines Parish can bring to the table. I would like to mention about economic development. I'm going to be announcing, let me go back to the Arts, Parks, and Recreation and just let you know who she is. Her name is Ashley Morrison. She's the number 2 position in NORD right now. She comes with She's got over 160 playgrounds. It's under her. She's a certified park and recreation executive. The lead City of New Orleans Arts, Parks and Recreation accreditation. She comes with a master's degree in business. So she is very excited about this. And the only way that she could have ever been able to move up in New Orleans is if the director was to have left that department right there. I'm very excited about this position. We are naming our Director of Economic Development, and that's going to be Kelly DeMarco. I'm very excited about her. She comes in with a wealth of knowledge in planning, development, and implementation. She collaborates well with business leaders. I was able to see her in rare form up in D.C. She wore me out, I'm going to tell you. And she'll wear out anyone in this room. Kelly does not see a negative moment in life. It's all positive for her. She must have brought 10 people to me within a 2-hour moment. Keith, you got to meet this person. You got to talk to her. You got to talk to him. So I'm very excited about Kelly coming in with us as well. Some of the challenges that we faced this past year, saltwater intrusion. We have $23 million of projects that are in place that we have on the books. We've encumbered $21 million. Our cost share could possibly be $2.87 million of that. However, we're in great communications with GOSEP, the Governor's Office of Homeland Security, and they are working with us as well as they're working with FEMA. They want to wipe that debt out. So all of the monies and the efforts that we had to put towards the saltwater intrusion, the state of Louisiana and the federal government are looking to help us to where it didn't have an impact on our budget. We are looking at long-term solutions to this because we know this coming year we are going to have saltwater intrusion again. It's inevitable that it won't hit the Boothville Venice plant. We are doing our damnedest to leave the RO, the reverse osmosis machine, in Boothville so that we're ready to pull the trigger at any given time, that we won't be affected by it. However, we have taken provisions with our monies that we've spent, or these are our monies because that's our tax dollars that we send to the state, to the federal government. Governor Edwards at the time was telling us, he says, guys, look at projects that are permanent fixes, that we don't have to do over again year after year after year. One of the, started at the parish line, we did a tie-in with Jefferson Parish, a CEA, a collaborative. We can pull, right now we're connected all the way to our plant. We can pull in 6 million gallons of water a day. On the East Bank side of the river, we are in the process of finishing this line with St. Bernard Parish. So at any given time, we'll be able to turn the valve on and good water from St. Bernard. We also have a line off of Woodland Highway. I don't know how many gallons of water we can pull from Orleans Parish, but we also have that. Going further down the road in the Alliance area, you may see it if you travel up and down. You can see where there's a booster station. There was a planned station there already, but we were able to take and move forward under the emergency to get, it's a 20-inch line that goes down. So we were able to go down and put the valves, put the lines, the T's to go in to the station. So we were able to do that immediately. But at the same time, they don't have to go back when the permanent station is being built to start the project all over. They'll just continue that project. So again, that's what the governor was wanting, permanent fixes. The Fort Sulphur facility, it had been down since Ida, was 2020. We were able to get it back up and going in, I believe, 8 weeks. to where we could produce a million and a half gallons a day, which we could force through boosters. We could pump all the way to the Boothville Venice area. So those are projects right now that are in place. So this coming year, should we experience this salt water coming into the river, our residents won't be affected. And that's pretty good. Yeah. So a while back, we supplied over 3 million bottles of water to our residents last year. So hopefully we won't have to do that. From January to June last year, we experienced 13 water line breaks. 13. Then we got into a drought situation. From June to December, our water line breaks last year went up to 150. It was every day we were dealing with water line breaks. And when you deal with water line breaks, you deal with water pressure. And when you deal with water pressure, you deal with a lot of phone calls. And I want to thank Mr. Morgan. He's here today. He's the superintendent for Infomark. They were Johnny on the spot. Those fellas, they would be working through the night to rectify and get those lines secure. And a lot of these lines, where our situation and some of this traffic that we've experienced here just recently, are contractors. These boring contractors that are putting in the the lines for the internet and all. Well, I'm trying to shut that down until this bridge is completed. Because these guys, they should be able to go out there in a day's time and only do about 2,000 feet of line. But they get paid in how many feet they can install in a day's time. So they want to just go out there and bust ass and reckless abandon it and do 6,000 feet. But they have no care, or they don't care what damages they're doing. They know, wow, the parish should come back and fix it for us. Well, I'm going to tell you, there's 2 contractors right now. There's legal actions that's being taken against them. And that is happening right now. The last council meeting, we had 2 swimming pools in the parish. And this is very important, that needed to be renovated. One being in Port Sulphur, the other being in Buras. Monies are not tight, but we have been using our monies to get a lot done in Plaquemines Parish this last year. So we had to pull about $250,000 for one of the pools. Both pools are $250,000 to get them renovated. It's important for those pools to be renovated because this is quality of life for the southern end of our parish. There are a lot of kids down there that really enjoy this. There's swimming lessons, there's summer camps. So, you know, we can be chastised for spending money on a swimming pool. No, we're spending money on a quality of life for our parish and our residents of the parish president. So, if we're questioned about our thoughts and what we're spending our money on, listen to this. I don't know exactly the amount, but for every dollar that we put into the general budget, on the government side, we put 20% into a rainy day fund on the government side, and we put 25% on the fire side. That's a substantial amount of money that we have in a rainy day fund. Because we know one day, with all the sales tax revenues that we're receiving right now from Venture Global and the bridge that's being built, dollar amounts are high. They're great. Last month, in the month of January, we collected $16 million. Now, that was distributed between the school board. She laughs at me all the time. Here she said, I'm just jealous. I said, yeah. She gets 2.5%, the government gets 1%, and the firefighters get 1% for their budgets. But it's good. It's a good thing. Adjudicated properties. I don't know if you know, adjudicated properties are properties that folks didn't pay their taxes. We, with the council, we identified 90 that we could get, around 90 or a little bit more. So we put them out we put these out to auction, but before that we could, in the last auction, 16 were redeemed. That's 16 individuals that said, hey, you know what? I better go pay my taxes or they're going to sell my land. And then we sold 7. So that's like 20 to 25 to 30% of properties now is back in commerce. So now there's tax money's coming in ahead. This is looking forward. I had a slogan throughout my campaign, powering Plaquemines forward. And I also made a commitment to the residents and the people in Plaquemines Parish that I would work well with our council. You know, the folks in the last year, they're sitting there going, and there's that 4 or 5 people that, oh, the honeymoon's over, the honeymoon's over. Well, the honeymoon is over. We're in a relationship. we're like old married people now. So, and I'll tell you what, and we do. We get along well. There's testing, there's moments, but I really don't think it's moments between us. It's a moment for all of us. We're all experiencing that. And we're in this together here. So as looking forward, immediately, we've got a lot of road projects and we got damaged roads all up and down the river here. But right now, from the Empire Bridge south on Highway 11, we've got a project that's going to start construction next week. We got Bergeron Road. We have M Street in Belle Chase. We got Time Acre Road, and we have Concord Road. So we do have road projects that are going on throughout the parish. We also have a little small project from DOTD on the east bank at the flood wall. They're going to elevate the road about 44 inches. You might say, well, 44 inches, but it's only like a little hump in the road. Well, 44 inches, it means a lot when you're having a sandbag. So now that means that's 44 inches that you don't have to worry about the water and sandbagging during bad storms and all. Coastal challenges. As you can see right now, the Mid-Barrett area, it is shut down. And we have got great conversations with Gordy Dove and Lynn Leday with CPRA. And hopefully we can continue those conversations and we can come to terms on something, on a project that won't destroy our parish, that won't cut our parish in half. It won't destroy our lifestyle, the seafood industry, the oyster industry, and it won't affect our FEMA base flood maps. There are a lot of variables in this project that they really didn't pay attention to. It's like they were coming out with reckless abandonment. We got to do this project. And they really don't even know if this project will really produce the amount of land. It's not going to produce any land. It's just going to produce a little bit of land under about the title. But there are projects that we can do that will build land. There's dredging, there's rocking. Now we can do a siphon or a small diversion just to supplement our dredging projects. Well, I think I bounced all over the place here. I would just be repeating myself. Well, look, again, I want to thank you guys for being here. And look, I've got to, before we stop, I just want to say that everything on these 5 or 6 pages, again, it's the relationship. And this relationship, and none of this could have been done without the council. So Stuart, Brian, Mitch, thank you, and Patty, thank you. I know we knock down, we like brother and sister, we fight all the time. But hey, it's love. It's love, right. So thank you, and I really appreciate the room being full here today. It was kind of nervous, but it's okay. But hey, I'm amongst friends. I truly believe it because look, I believe in this organization. I believed in this organization 16 years ago when I first got on the council. I called hell for it, but that didn't matter. I believe in this organization right here because I believe in economic development for Plaquemines Parish. Hey, look, we're going to power Plaquemines forward. Thank you. Well, we don't have any questions. But no, go ahead if you got any questions.
Any questions for Keith?
Good job.
Thank you. And look, anytime any of you want to sit down, when it comes to the TIF, I would welcome you to come in. We'd love to sit in the conference room and go over this. And I think we need to do that because it's a work in progress right now. And so, again, thank you.